Greetings, everyone. Back by popular demand, season 5, episode 1 of the Huns Old Cast. I'm BillyO. I'm coming to you from Palm Desert, where a lot of old people live. We've got Russell Webb, player coach, Sevens player extraordinaire with us, and we got director of rugby and all-around good guy, Shotgun Willie. Guys, how you doing?
Yeah, doing great, Bill. Thanks for bringing back the old cast. We're super excited about the season and excited to be back on the show.
Yeah, just
No.
following off what Austin said, I'm buzzing to be on this as well. It's good. I've only recently a Hun and loved every minute of it so far.
Well, you're infected. If you've been around this long, you're infected. We're going to start by recognizing our sponsors.
Nice.
There we go.
512 Solar.
The best in the bit.
Shotgun, I'll let you talk about that in a second. We've got a bunch of great sponsors, though. 512 Solar, Greenlight Social. I'm wearing a Greenlight Social shirt right now. Rigby Slacks, some attorneys, Austin Beer Works. Why don't you list some of the other sponsors we've got there, Mr. Director of Rugby?
Sure. We've got Cry Recycling, which is Jerry Acuna. Greenlight Social, where we had a blast this past weekend after Bloodfest celebrating the win. Cerberus Security, who's Scuba's brought on a bunch of our guys to help keep all the large events safe. Webb Ellis, who's run by our former MVP, Pat Coleman, who's blessed us with a ton of awesome kit and can do a lot for your business as well. We're actually getting kit from Pat at Webb Ellis for 512 Solar, so all those coming together. You got Rugby Ninja, who does all the jerseys and tanks out at all the tournaments. And so, yeah, good little list there.
Well, we've recognized the sponsors. And breaking news, we're going to talk about Sevens today. And, why don't we take it away there, Austin Willis? I know Sevens is a love of yours. I talk a lot with you about 15s, which is sort of the primary purpose of our club historically. But you guys have really built a great Sevens program. Why don't you talk to us a little bit about the Sevens program you're building?
Yeah, I think it started with what all the work that Adam Scheidler did to really invest and grow the program. Starting from when I first joined the Huns back in 2018, and he put together with guys like Biff and other people that put together the collegiate scholarship program. The seven side of things has really taken off, and it's been a place where we've gone to nationals and grown the brand of the club by having success at all of the highest levels. And so it's just grown year over year. And now it's really become, arguably the, kind of linchpin or, shining portion of our program at the moment. And it's just been pretty special. The guys are really bonding and, you spending 8 hours a day under a tent together, you get pretty close, and it really has grown this club, leaps and bounds. And so, yeah, 15s I'd say is the part that drives a lot of the revenue, and it's where all of the guys, the 90 players and youth and everything come. But sevens has been pretty special to growing who the Huns are.
Sevens has been really special, and you attracted Russell Webb this year as a player coach. Congratulations. Shotgun Russell, welcome to the club.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
What do you have to say? I mean, I know you've only been out a couple of weeks, but what's it like being
Yeah.
back in club rugby again? Obviously, you played international sevens for Hong Kong Sevens. You won a national championship in 15s with Cal, so you've played at a really high level. Coming back to sevens club rugby in the United States, what's that feel like?
Yeah, it was, it's been a change of, obviously, a change of pace. You go from playing, well, at least with international sevens, you're with the same guys every day of the week, and you're training every single day, and all of a sudden, okay, you've got 2 sessions per week to sort of get things right and go and compete on the weekend. And it's been an absolute joy so far. You know, for me, it's a new role of having to be a player coach. I'd like to think I'm doing a pretty good job, but I'm just enjoying being on both sides of the ball. So being able to keep playing after sort of hanging the boots up from international rugby. So it's nice to still get that fix of playing, but at the same time, I've always enjoyed coaching and the coaching side of things. So, you know, there are a bunch of young guys and some really talented kids as well in our program, and just being able to do what I can to sort of pass on that knowledge over has been real good fun. And yeah, you know, we've gone from 2 out of 2 tournaments back-to-back wins, and I think we're just going to go strength to strength. So it's been an absolute joy. Yeah.
Well, and as long as we're at it, in breaking news, Huns win, Huns win. Shotgun, that was a pretty good day. When's the last time you can recall smoking the Reds and the Blacks like that on the same day and hoisting the trophy for the overall championship?
I don't think it's been done at Bloodfest in my time here. Actually, I know it hasn't, but I think the last time we won in such convincing fashion against those two sides was back in 21 at River City Sevens, which was a pretty memorable moment for our club and launched our nationals run in 2021. So some memories of that one, but yeah, that was a really special day just to get, I think, for us to get it done for the Huns. A lot of work goes into setting up that tournament and keeping it as smooth and as special a tournament as it is. And so to reward guys like Hansel and Wheezy and Doormat and Longo and Vandy and all the guys that put in so much hard work to make that thing a special tournament with 96 teams. It was good to just hand that trophy over to them and say, thanks for doing this for us.
It wasn't
Yeah,
Hong Kong. It wasn't Hong Kong Sevens, Russell. But what'd you think of your first
well,
Bloodfest
yeah,
experience?
I was just to add, you know, we talk about it being a club rugby tournament. It was, I mean, it was flawless the way it was run. So I was thoroughly impressed. You know, obviously I've only got that and Lone Star to compare it to, and with no disrespect to Lone Star, it sort of blew that out the water really. Just the in terms of having stands for people to go watch, facilities, you know, all the pitches, the grass field is it's arguably one of the, you know, I've played in international tournaments where the pitch is nowhere near as nice as the one in Round Rock. So that was a really pleasant surprise as well. And it's so good to see, you know, how many people were out there. I think I was speaking to Willie about it the other day. You know, was it the second or first biggest, the largest or second largest sevens tournament in the country? And it's just really cool to see how many people are starting to pick up that rugby ball and play. Yeah, it was awesome.
It's been going on for at least 25 or 26 years, maybe longer. It's our biggest fundraiser, but it gets back to community culture rugby, which is our tagline for our club. You know, to me, when I've been out at Bloodfest, it feels like a rugby festival. You know, yeah, you're out there to win, but there's social, there's super social, there's ladies rugby, there's high school rugby. You can buy gear. There's food trucks. It's a beautiful park. So yeah, it's really special to us. And rugby tournaments at the club level are kind of going the way of the dinosaur. When I played, there was a 15s tournament in the fall, a 15s tournament in the spring, and sevens wasn't near as big a deal as it is now. But yeah, those tournament atmospheres are really good. I've thrown up a picture of the team. It's hard for me watching from California. It took me a couple of tournaments and some rewatches to figure out who everybody was. But Shotgun, why don't you go through this roster with us really quick of your guys?
Sure thing. Yeah, so I guess from left on the screen across, we'll go from the top to bottom. Yeah, you got George Tavares there, who's been at the club since he was 18 years old and now, father, and still a burner on the wing. We're trying to push him into the props. We'll see how that goes, but he's been stoked to join the group for this tournament. Ricky Chestnutwood, just a freaking lifelong like Huns legend, does everything for the club, captain material. and real workhorse on the field. Clayton Means, also like Ricky, went to Lindenwood, and he's a Round Rock native, and he's been a stalwart for us the last 2 seasons in sevens on the nationals team and the 13 and 15s this year. You got Coach Ty there, who's been running the ship, and we've had so many guys out at training. He's been in that real CEO coach role where he's looking after the entirety of the club, and just done a phenomenal job, really helping the club find its personality and identity. You've got Daytwan Sheridan, who joins us for from the Raptors, American Raptors, out of the Superliga in South America, and he's a San Antonio native, so we were stoked to bring him back home to Texas. Nick Taylor rejoins the team. He was coaching at Indiana University after being the backline player of the year for the Huns 2 years ago, and he's just a great guy to bring back and has been phenomenal for us. We got Edwin there, who's been just an absolute I wish I had so many words for this guy. He's been, what I call the real director of rugby. He does all the work to make this club tick, and really special human, and gets stuck in on the weekends, helping us make sure everything runs smooth. Andreas Lasala, he's 19 years old, out of Texas A&M. He played under myself at the academy team here with the Outlaws, and he's just been a real shining point for us, because 19 years old and playing on the ones, pretty special. Then down in the second row, you got Taylor Green, who joined us from Western Michigan, and he's proven to be just a stud. You can play him at wings and in the props. Been a menace out there. You got myself, Christian Alvarez, who's taken a real leadership role. He came from NOLA in the MLR, and he's been with us now for 2 years. Aiden Ridgway, who is our MVP in sevens in 2023. And just as silky as they come. He's the most recent hire at 512 Solar as well. So he's been learning a lot there. DeMonte Noble, who's got the best feet in the country and can pretty much score at will. He joined us coming from, was with the Eagles, and then went and took a contract in Australia. And now he's back in Texas playing for the Huns, and he's been a really special addition. Brandon Johnson, who is finally healthy and having an unreal season so far, in 15s and now sevens. And it's just good to see him finally getting the body right again, because he's the baddest man in Texas when healthy. And then you got Russell Webb there, who's been a phenomenal player coach so far, and was lights out on the weekend, and just showing everybody, showing all of us how it's done and how to prepare your body, how to maintain that performance during a tournament, and how to celebrate after.
Well, before we go to Russell for a couple of comments, let's expand a little bit on Edwin. He's been with our club only a couple of years. He never played for us, but he has really stepped in as a glue guy behind the scenes. He's always at the fields working. He's been the assistant director of rugby basically for a couple of years already.
Yep.
Handling logistics. I mean, he really has been a big addition to the club, has he not?
Oh, absolutely. Gives me chills talking about Edwin. 2 years ago, we met really at the season kickoff meeting, and he put his hand up as his personal goal was to make me the best director of rugby possible. And, I have my strengths, but I also have my weaknesses, and he does everything in the world to offset those weaknesses and keep my strengths on guardrails, and then just looks after every little thing that this club needs. Like, he's the reason are having all the success that we're having, and he gets almost none of the credit because he moves so quietly within this club, but just truly a special person and a special gem. And yeah,
he is a humble guy. Everybody likes him, and that's rarity on the Huns. We can quibble amongst ourselves with the best of them. Russell, why don't you talk about this lineup a little bit? I mean, you've been on the field 2 weekends with the guys. You've been coaching for about a month now. Talk to us about this team.
Absolutely. Before I do, I'll just add about Edwin as well. He's like the metronome of this side, right? Everything behind the scenes. He doesn't get anywhere near the credit he probably deserves. And when we win a tournament such as Bloodfest, or when we go up to Lone Star and there are logistics about travel and whatnot, he's behind that all, and he's completely okay with taking a backseat and not getting any of the accolades or whatever. But when we lift that trophy, it means a lot to him as well. And I know for a fact that there's no one probably out there that wants the Huns to do as well as he does. So he's been brilliant.
It means a lot to all of us. I'm screaming in my living room.
I'm sure it
My wife
does.
leaves
Yeah.
the house when the Huns are on my phone. So
Yeah.
talk to me about this squad you've got. You've
For
landed
sure.
in.
Yeah. So, I mean, Austin knows all of these lads better than I do, but the second I sort of touched down, and we've only had a couple weeks of training, maybe 4 or 5 weeks now, I believe, something like that. You know, from the get-go, there's talent scattered everywhere, right? And Austin sort of named a couple of strengths from each and every one of them. But what's brilliant about this squad is everyone sort of offers something a little different. You know, Willis has been very sort of humble about his abilities. He's, you know, in terms of what you want out of a forward sevens player, it's exactly what Willis offers in defense. He's, you know, we as a squad, our sort of philosophy is defense is our first phase of attack. So when we defend, we're getting the ball back. So it's effectively our first phase of attack. And, you know, there's no one who puts the body in the line as Shotgun Willie here. So he, you know, a lot of tries that we score off turnovers, and we've been big about turning the ball over and punishing teams. And if you actually watch clips back a couple of phases before, guess who's making the tackle or making the steal? It's Willie over here. So he's been brilliant.
Ricky Chestnutwood serves that same role.
Yeah, absolutely, he does. And you know, Ricky's got a great pass in him as well, and he puts his foot down, same as Willie. When they get some go forward, they're tough attackers to tackle and to defend. So they offer that as well. And you've got people like Taylor and Clayton who are sort of these hybrids, who you can throw them in the centers and they'll do some damage, but they hold their own. They're big, strong boys. I certainly don't want to get in front of them. I don't want to be tackling them by any means. And then you've got the likes of, you know, I talked about young lads coming through, and Andreas is that to a T. He is that, you know, the rugby world's his oyster, really. For a 19-year-old, he's got so much skill. There you can see he's nursing a shoulder there. So hopefully we've got him fit for the next couple of tournaments. But he's someone who, if he pins his ears back, he's quick. He's deceptively quick. And he's got great vision. He's got a good pass, can tackle, can kick. It's just about, I think we've just got to, because he is young, we sort of just got to keep telling him, tell him to back himself. I think he's a little bit timid, but he'll get there. He is young. Nick Taylor is a stud. Again, one of the same sort of model as Willie there. You know, he's a guy he'll do everything to go 14 minutes. And you don't get very many guys in sevens like that. Willie and Nick who have been like, if you need me to do 14, I'll do 14. And again, both sides of the ball, brilliant. Dayton, he just glides. He's silky. He's, you know, for someone like me, he's a dream to have off my kickoffs.
He's a thumper. He's a thumper, and he returned a kickoff for 80 yards or something by himself.
Exactly.
For a try.
There is nothing better than, you know, when you're tired and you've got to take a kickoff, you kick off and he goes and scores, and you're like, well, thank God we haven't got to do, you know, that's no more running for anyone. But he makes sort of, even if I miss a kickoff, he'll make it look good by getting there. So I've got a lot of him to thank.
What about DeMonte's first step?
I don't even know where he's going. There's no point trying to, you know, I'm big into trying to get there to be there for offload lines in case he needs it, but you don't even know which way he's going to step, right? So you've almost got to just give him space, let him do his thing, and half the time he doesn't even need you. But
he did an offload in one of the matches a week ago, not at Bloodfest, where he was spinning and he's going down, and it was like a backhanded behind the back to Christian Alvarez for a try in the corner.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's out of this world. And yeah, I mean, it's great. I've played it, as I said, I spoke to you off air about it. I've played against him multiple times in college, so to finally not have to defend him is a blessing.
His center of gravity is so low that he also plays very physically like a big man.
Yeah, he does. He holds his own, and He's even when you do sort of grab him or attempt to tackle him, he a lot of the times he can sort of fend you off. So he's an absolute weapon and a real threat. Just trying to think who I've missed. Brandon, again, he's, when you get to stride going, he's electric. He's hard to tackle and a big, strong lad. And then there are obviously guys who played for us in Lone Star who aren't in that photo there. The likes of Case, RG. I'm trying to think who have I missed out.
Christian.
And we've got Christian Alvarez, he's been brilliant in terms of a leadership role for this club. And he's another one of those hybrids who's got a great boot on him. He can kick off and he's a real good voice to the squad. Great pass on him. And George as well. You put him in space, he's going to either truck someone or he's going to go dot the ball down in the corner. And another guy, amazing for morale. It's always a voice. And, these sevens tournaments are long days, right? As Willie said, it's 8 hours with each other. So when you're sort of tired, you need someone to bring the energy. You've got the likes of George and Christian, and, you go from feeling pretty lethargic and tired to ready to go for the next game.
Hang on, I'm sorry. I should have turned this thing off. Hansel, what the fuck are you doing? I'm conducting an old cast right now. Huh? All right. He wants me to ask you, you miss a kick left-footed, and now you're going for post right-footed? You can drop kick with either foot?
Yeah, it's I sort of, growing up soccer, I used to be into my soccer as well, and Dad has always instilled, there's nothing better than being both footed. So I broke my metatarsal in college, so I could only kick my right foot for a season. So I'm pretty confident using both.
It just cracked me up in real time. I was like, Jesus, now what? And in that same match, or in one of those matches, we scored a try in the corner all the way on the right-hand side. And you slotted it with tons of yardage to spare from the sideline. I mean, Willie, when's the last time? I mean, this has been a weak spot for us in the past. When have we ever had a weapon like this as far as conversions?
Yeah, I didn't recognize it until after the tournament because I'm usually like huffing and puffing as Russell takes care of that stuff. So, but no, you're spot on. It's a huge weapon for us. I can't remember a time where we've been able to make those. And yeah, you're right. It's been a weakness in the past, and hopefully we can get other guys that can do it so Russell can huff and puff when he needs to.
We were better off. Go ahead.
As a coach, that doesn't make it okay for players to not try and still score in the middle, by the way. The goal is still to score as close to the post as possible.
We were better in the air week to week. We were better on defense week to week. We were way better getting over the gain line week to week. I mean, those are the three things that I noticed from Lone Star to Bloodfest. I mean, the amount of space guys had out wide getting open because you guys had drawn them in. I mean, it was incredible to watch. And listen, I beat the Blacks 2 times total in 15s in the 10 years I played. We probably beat the Reds 3 times in the 10 years I played. We've beaten the Blacks 4 times in 15 since the 2017 season. So anytime you beat the Blacks in anything, they're the standard bearer. It's a great day. Believe me, I told my wife, I don't care what happens. I was lying. I don't care what happens in the rest of the tournament. We just stomped the Blacks. I made Hansel walk over. I didn't make him. He walked over and FaceTimed me the last 5 minutes of the Reds match. And I saw that DeMonte Noble ankle breaker for a try. You've got a lot of Huns excited, no doubt about it. Now, let me ask you a question I've wanted to ask people before. The game's tied. It's the championship match. We get a penalty 15 meters out, dead center towards the attacking line. Have you ever just done a drop kick to win a match like that as opposed to putting the ball back in play?
Is that for me or
Yeah, that's for you. I know Willis hadn't done it.
have I ever taken a drop kick to win the game? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
I don't think I have, That's one thing I don't in my career I've still yet to do. So that's on the cards. Well, hopefully not, right? The last thing we want is it to go down to a last kick of the game. But hey, if it comes, I'll put my hand up and we'll give it a go.
At your level, it just is something I've always wondered about. Shotgun,
Yeah.
before we move on, anything else you want to talk about regarding the team that you put together? First side, second side, third side, fourth side. Let's talk about the whole squad, not just the premier.
Yeah, that's what we sought out to do, was exactly what you're talking about, is building the depth of the club. I really wanted in this recruiting kind of window, with the scholarship program and all that, was to try to build 39 players that were competitive about their rugby and that could play on the first, second, or third side. And that's what we've got. We put in 4 teams at Bloodfest. We're taking 3 teams to Choctaw, 5-6 hour drive to Oklahoma next weekend. And so that's what we built, and that's what we've got. And you can see how that impacts the performance of the team, where we wanted no jersey to be safe, everyone to be chasing each other and competing with each other. And that's the environment we sought, and that's the environment we've got. And so, yeah, it's a really, really cool place to be every Tuesday and Thursday, because, when we come to Saturday, we've already competed the whole week.
You're going to Oklahoma a week from Saturday. Did they indoctrinate you, Russell, already into Buc-ee's on your first Dallas road trip?
I have the Huns haven't, but I have been to Buc-ee's. It was one of the first things I did when I touched down to Austin, Texas. So I'm glad to have ticked it off. I've got my photo with Buc-ee himself. So yeah, I have been, but I'm excited to go back.
The Huns are addicted to Buc-ee's. It's a rite of passage for our newer, younger players. I'm surprised they didn't stop in there and go insane. We just got back from an old boys trip to Missoula, Montana for Maggot Fest, an over 35 tournament. And we all but bought Buc-ee's onesie pajamas to wear at the rest of the tournament. 45 guys running around together. So we'll have to get this guy a Buc-ee's onesie, Shotgun.
Yeah, I'll wear it with pride.
Yeah.
All right.
Sorry, I just wanted to add quickly. When you mentioned about expanding the squad with us, and you mentioned our improvements from Lone Star to Bloodfest. That solely comes down to the buy-in and training, and the guys who aren't necessarily in that starting squad. We've got those 3 teams, and we can only train as well as we do on a Tuesday, Thursday because of the guys who buy in and the guys who rock up who may not necessarily get picked for a squad. And those sort of improvements, it isn't just those 12-man effort that you see lifting that trophy. It's the whole club. So that's been really, really special, and long may that continue as we punch our ticket to nationals.
Well, this is Lucy. She wanted to join the old cast. Thanks, Lucy. So I think it's safe, Austin. You're trending up. Would you agree with that?
Sorry, the volume just cut out there just for that 1 second, though.
I said, I think it's safe to say that the Huns Sevens in particular are trending upward. What do you have to say about that?
Absolutely. Yeah. I think the whole club's always been, since I've been here, has always been trending up. But yeah, now more than ever, everything's going smooth, and everybody's really excited about what we're doing, and everybody's bought in, like Russ said. So couldn't be more excited about what's building here.
Well, I'm certainly drinking the Kool-Aid. Russell, I wasn't kidding. Once you get infected as a Hun, it lasts for life. Are you having fun in club rugby? I mean, you've done things at the highest level. One might worry this is a little bit of I don't want to say a step down, because we're competing for a national championship against some professional teams, by the way.
Yeah.
And we're not a professional team. We do throw these kids a little bit of beer money and some relocation money, and we give them a place to stay. But are you having fun? How are you feeling competing in this environment?
I'm having a ton of fun. I mean, like I said before, the second I sort of walked into Nixon Lane, it genuinely felt like a family, and everyone it's almost as if I've been there for years. Everyone's been super, super welcoming, and you say it isn't professional, but some of the standard, we've got guys who, I can see, as I said before, DeMonte's obviously professional or has been in the past. You've got guys who are more than capable of being at that level. You've got guys who maybe had an MLR team stayed in Austin. I would have put money on them remaining with an MLR team, which would effectively make them professional. So we have guys in the squad who are more than capable of playing at the highest level. And I don't think, I mean, I'm sure Willis can back it up, and he can speak for it himself, but we're not going to the national championship just to take part. I think we're going to go and make a real good run for it. I think we're capable of it as well. So, and obviously we've won 2 tournaments back to back, and if winning isn't fun, then what is?
Well, I'm drinking the Kool-Aid. A lot of us are. Shotgun, what do you have to say about this?
Yeah, exactly. We set out our goals at the start of the season at the kickoff meeting and well before that as coaching staff, but wanted to, first win Texas with our qualifying side. We wanted to win TOLA once again, defend our TOLA championship. And then we wanted to go to nationals and, we talked about a top 8 finish or a top 4 finish, but you don't put that on the board. You don't just put that on the board. You want to play this game to win the highest prize. And that's, the Huns don't do all this hard work and all the graft that, our board of directors puts in to not go and try to win the national championship. So, our goal is to win the Club Sevens national championship. And all the guys are pretty dead set on that. And so we're going to go out and try to remain, not let any complacency creep in about what we've already accomplished this season. It's now the next goal is to go to Choctaw, win that and punch our ticket. And then let the Tola boys finish things out as we prepare for the title run.
Well, I've already figured out my flight itinerary for Madison, Wisconsin. I got miles.
Yeah.
So you need to make sure everybody that already got a challenge coin finds it, has their mom ship it to them if it's in their desk at home. I've got coins for the new guys, but any repeat player that doesn't bring their challenge coin is going to have to do push-ups or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Russell, have you made a Huns social yet? Have you been? Did you go to Greenlight the other night? Are you going to be out tomorrow?
I did. No, I did. We unfortunately I'm in Nebraska this weekend, so I won't be able to come this weekend. But I did make an appearance at Greenlight Social and had to get dragged out by my wife. So I had a thoroughly good time. It's always important to celebrate the wins with the squad. So hopefully same again next weekend.
Wives are good at that.
Yeah.
Wives are good at that. You got kids?
I do not, no.
Well, you just got 45 Huns as your kids. So
yeah. Well, I'm one of them as well.
Yeah, there you go. This is one of my favorite Huns pictures. I'm sure you've seen the huddle between matches, halftime, but after practice, I'm only able to get out once or twice a year. We've had old boys show up for the first time in 15, 20 years to a practice. They all get in the huddle afterward and get to introduce themselves. Whoever took this picture one night on a cold night out at Nixon, man, my hero. But Russell, welcome to the Huns family. Austin, I really appreciate what you and a bunch of the other young guys are doing for our club right now. Austin, why don't you close us out with a couple of comments and then we'll go to Russell.
Yeah. We have I appreciate you, Bill, and all you do for our club. You were the guy that got me into this seat, and you've always been a big supporter of mine. So I always appreciate it and happy to chat with you anytime and share all the exciting things we're doing. And this weekend, tomorrow, actually, we're gonna have our Huns members only social, where we're gonna bring in those old boys you talked about and bring in our alumni and get to share with them all the things about Team 41 and what the goals and what makes this team special. And then probably hear from their stories about why they joined the Huns, and what makes their shared experience special. And then it's back to work for us as we go and try to accomplish all the things that we wanted to. So everything's great. Really excited to have Russell on board. Actually, I wanted to share he was actually a big idol of mine. And if you followed the CRCs in when Russell was there, I was in high school watching rugby and getting into it, and he was a big he was the dominant figure on the scene in the the Collegiate Rugby Championships, on all the posters and that. So to now team up with him and go trying to win a national championship alongside him is pretty special. And then also to meet his wife and be a part of everything together is pretty cool. So this has been a really fun season already, and we're only just 2 tournaments in. So excited to come back on here maybe in a few weeks and talk more.
You played for a legend at Cal too, Russell.
I've played for many legends at Cal, but yes, there is a couple being I take it you mean the 2 coaches?
Yes.
Coach Billups and Coach Clark. Yeah, they I give a lot of thanks and very grateful for all the lessons they sort of taught me, not just in rugby, but in life as well. So they've been instrumental in my career, no doubt.
Any comments for the boys before we sign off?
Yeah. Again, well, seeing as Austin's gone all soppy on me, I'm gonna have to do the same. He's been incredible. You talk about culture and this community that the Huns got. I sort of landed this sort of player and coach role because I played against Zinzan in college, and through that we always kept in touch, and he was kind enough to sort of put us in touch, Willis, and again, it just shows the importance of community and the importance of culture and sort of the main pillars that the Huns sort of believe in, and without that I wouldn't be sat here today helping and being part of a team.
Guy.
He's unbelievable, yeah. And I believe he'll be at Choctaw, right? Is that right? Yeah. So I'm excited to catch up with him and for him to bring his knowledge to the game as well. He's obviously been an incredible servant for the Huns, and I'm great to be part of that as well. And as Willie said, we are just getting started. We're 2 tournaments from 2, and the goal is to keep that sort of momentum going. And with the sort of squad that we've got, and even the outer squad that we've got, there's no reason as to why we can't keep bringing those W's in.
No complacency. Don't get comfortable. Keep finding ways to improve.
Absolutely. Yeah, a big thing that we sort of spoke about is, we're a good enough team to. Doesn't matter who we're playing against. We're always against ourselves, in the sense that you're always trying to get a better improvement than the last. And yeah, we had a pretty good day at Bloodfest, but there's obviously room for improvement. So we're gonna sort of get some fixes in, and we'll keep getting better as we punch a ticket into nationals.
Having watched nationals with the Huns a couple times, I will say that there ain't no easy pool matches at nationals.
No, and the game of sevens, there aren't really any easy games, and I think the Blacks team that we played against, and even the Reds, and even Faith, for example, they're good rugby sides, and we just performed really, really well against them, and we made them look worse than they are. So that's credit to us.
Fair
no
play
disrespect to them. And so I guarantee they'll get better. So they'll get better, and so will we.
The Blacks are a great club. The Reds are a great club. At Faith looked like they had a lot of potential. I like beating the Blacks, don't get me wrong, but mad respect for what they've accomplished. I think we've got a great shot to get to the Final Four, and after that in sevens, who knows?
Game of sevens, anything can happen.
Yeah, but really proud of you guys. Really happy we're off to a great start. Thanks for coming on the proverbial show here. And, go patronize our sponsors. We wouldn't be doing as well as we are operationally without all these guys. And everyone here, except for the last two, is a Huns player or old boy. Every one of them.
Yep.
All right, guys, thanks for coming in. And I can't wait to see you again in a couple of weeks on my phone from Choctaw. Huns.
Yes, sir. Up the Huns.
Up
All
the
right, take
Huns.
care, fellas.
See you, gents. Thank you.